Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Sean from How to RPG, which I'm not sure why I named this channel the way I did. I stream every Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time US. So if you're watching this not live, thank you. Former host of Gaming BS, I guess former host of GM Mastermind, role-playing gamer, Midwesterner, pet owner, spouse. Oh man, so Harrigan's the first one. Hey buddy, thanks for joining. Getting up early in the Mountain Time Zone. Laramie? Yeah, thank you for the compliment, Laramie. This, believe it or not, this was a dev shop, a software development, web development shop. A friend of mine used to run. He sold it, but it's a great shirt because it's like one of the thin ones, but it's not sheer. Anyways, enough about fashion already. Yeah, right. First guess, of course. Oh yeah, that's a Ruby on Rails shop. So what's going on in role-playing games nowadays? I put out a tweet that said, geez, you'd think with some people, Wizards of the Coast cured their mother from cancer. Like it's like, geez. I mean, and I empathize with how the OGL may impact creators, and if that's kind of their welfare, totally get it. But it's still a company. So what's up, Joe? Looking forward to the gaming community moving on. Well, it's not over, dude. It's not over. Joe, hate to tell you, shocker, right? Moving on. What is moving on? Like, they haven't announced the license for 1D&D, so that's going to get torn apart. Then you've got the OCR, which is moving forward, so that'll always be updated. You still have Black Flag from Cobalt Press. So I guess if you look at it and say, well, Cobalt Press is going to create their own game regardless, and that's kind of outside the OGL anyway, fair, right? That's probably, say the OGL was in place, which it is, but say it didn't create all the hubbub that it did, it wouldn't have propelled Cobalt Press to do their own system. It is so crazy to me sometimes. Like, it's just, I think of these things. I do. Go figure. But there's certain, like, huge events that really, they're very, very bad, but very, very good things come back out of them. Like the pandemic. Yeah, really shitty time, probably, I guess, for sure. But, online gaming exploded. Remote work exploded. Especially the remote workplace, not to get into adulting and big talk, or day-to-day job talk, but I don't think we would have, I think the workforce needs a kick in the ass or the workplace needs a kick in the ass as far as what that looks like, how people work. And the pandemic has at least booted it in a particular direction. I don't know if it's better or worse. And I know some companies are fighting it for a variety of reasons. and wanting people to come back to the workplace. I do think that there are some benefits to people being face-to-face. So there is all my disclaimer on where I think things are. But man, if it weren't for the pandemic, we would still be all driving down the road every day. Some of us still do, granted, but it would just be different. Or wouldn't be different. It would be the same. So OGL comes along. Hey, we're going to create our own license, which should have been done 20 years ago. Honestly, should have been a foundation to begin with. Like why everybody jumped on a corporate license to say yay and think that the corporation would just be this, altruistic, so good-hearted, great, awesome, positive force for all of RPGs. And frankly, for 23 years, it did its job. Companies have started and been very successful because of it. But I don't know if they would have needed it, honestly. Like, could Pathfinder have been created by Paizo without the OGL? Some would say, no, Sean, you have to have the OGL because then they can rely on the SRD. Yeah, I don't know. But so the OGL was put into place. It benefited a lot of good companies, a lot of third-party publishers. Cobalt Press has done very well. MCDM has been done very well because of it. And frankly, who knows if those companies would be where they are today without the OGL. We can maybe speculate on that for sure. But hindsight 2020, who knows, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe they could have just been fine without it, and the OGL could have lived. We could have rewound the clock 23 years, and we could be sitting where we are today, except that people aren't adhering to Wizards of the Coast license, and they have their own. Or there's some weird Creative Commons out there. I don't know. What's up, Jason? I see you. What's up, Lucas? Thank you for joining. Always good to see you guys. So, not to beat that freaking dead horse, but it's the topic du jour, right? It just is. So I think the OGL comes along. Now Cobalt Press is going to create their own game. Would they have done it if this weren't a huge hubbub? I don't know. The OCR is moving forward. Paizo released a statement 2 hours after Wizards. Fairly timely, which I was surprised. And said, hey, they applaud Wizards for doing that, but we're still going to move forward with the OCR. And they reiterated that it's going to be a foundation that's not overseen and governed by a corporate entity. Bravo. Great. Like, I think there is a huge amount of win all the way around this thing, regardless. I mean, sky was falling, freaking the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I mean, it is Armageddon, end of days. Holy cow. It's all over. It's all over. And we should burn torches, and executives need to be fired, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know about that. Like, I think this is all going to be A-okay. And I think the consumers are going to come out ahead on this for sure, is my guess. I don't know. What's up, Victor and Nelson? What's going up? What's going up? What's going up? What's going down? Good morning. Laramie, that's right, Sean. You won, and so did they. Oh. I think we all rolled a 20 this week, huh? Didn't we? Didn't we all just roll a 20? I think so. I think so. But Savage World sold out their entire quarter in a couple weeks. Pathfinder had what? I don't know what this. I forgot what. I'll bring it up. They sold out like 6 months of printed stuff in the first month. It's just ridiculous. Great. Fantastic. 8 months. Thank you. 8 months and 2 weeks. Like, that is either they have very small print runs, which it's like crowdfunding. Funded in 5 minutes. Targeted goal, $5. But I have to think that Pinnacle, here's the thing. If Savage Worlds and Pathfinder sold out after a year after being out in a print run, I think, because I think it's context, right? I always talk to people in the day job about context because their resumes suck, and they never have any context. They don't have any impact statements, ROI, or anything like that. So I think so I only say this because they could say, dude, oh, hey, bro, oh my God, man, we sold out like 8 months of product in like 2 weeks. Oh my God. And maybe they don't print the shit worth during the year. Yeah, 100 books. We sold 100 books because that's our print run. Shit, Talanian, right? What is this? Astonishing Swordsman says Hyperborea. Like, he didn't even, like, once his print run was done, I don't know if he ever did another one. So people were pissed off because they could never get his books in print. Now it is just known as Hyperborea, by the way. But I mean, it's just, I don't know how much Paizo has in their stock. I have to say something, and frankly, if they say, well, we're going to do a print run in January, and we project it, and we're going to do that print run. We're going to do, I don't know, 10,000 books. And they say, we think, based on historical data, that we're going to sell that all the way through August. Because guess what? 8 months. That's weird. August is Gen Con. What, weird. Which used to be release, like that was the month and the date for releases. Like, publishing houses would hold off on stuff. They probably had it printed they didn't have it printed because they'd have it drop ship probably straight to Gen Con. But, if you wanted new releases, you waited till Gen Con, and you went to Gen Con because that was the only place you could get it right away. They'd say, hey, come to Gen Con, you get the book. If not, it's going to be available in October. So I'm sure it was a lot. It is something to be said, right? Even if that was like 8 months of product. But 8 months of product now is different than 8 months of product a year after Pathfinder 2 came out. Because Pathfinder 2 has been, like, I don't know, but I know some friendly game stores that it just didn't go anywhere for a long time. I mean, people were all in on 5e. Not that Pathfinder wasn't doing well in other, like, in general, but I say in some of those channels. And now that it's going, I think they got a shot in the arm for sure. Obviously. So anyways, context rules. Get ChatGPT to write the resume for you. That's not a bad idea. If they know what to put in there. Word is Chaosium sold out of Cthulhu starter sets months sooner than projected too. Yeah, I saw that. I have an article on it too, and you guys are probably referencing the same article. I didn't see the Chaosium piece, but I know it was like in the headline. It was like Paizo and Chaosium, big winners, whatever. So I'm sure it was summing up what they had sold, and I don't know what the numbers are for Chaosium. Was. Victor said it was a surprising amount compared to a typical year. Matty Q, good morning. OGL Gate was a blessing for Paizo for sure, and it's going to be for a lot of folks, even Savage Worlds. They probably I have to think that they're like, okay, what do we got on the roadmap? Savage Worlds and Shane and the crew over there, they've got their Kickstarters lined up. Hell, they're even doing Kickstarters off of Kickstarter, right? Well, let me rephrase that. Shane was going to do his own Kickstarter platform, and he's run Kickstarters on that. And he uses it for like offshoot license agreements with it's not, how do I put it? It's not house titles, is what I would say, right? It's not put out by Pinnacle. It's by Sean Kelly, who's doing a Savage Worlds product. And but the big ones, if you put out Riffs, Savage Riffs, and you do another, release based on Savage Riffs, that goes to Kickstarter. So like Shane's got this, so I kind of point that out because I don't know why I pointed it out, but going to the roadmap, he's probably looking at, okay, we got Sean doing his license. We're going to get probably some residuals from there. I don't know what the license is from Savage Worlds. I have to think that Shane gets maybe, I don't know if he gets any kickback or not. I don't know if there's any royalties in it. Regardless, he obviously will benefit if people like that thing and then they buy the core books or other things that are house titles that Savage Worlds put out. So, for example, say somebody puts out a Supers setting thing supplement, Sean does, and you need the Supers companion from the house titles, from the house, right? So he's going to benefit from that way. And looking at the roadmap, Paizo's got their campaign arcs, adventure paths, amongst other things. And I'm sure they're like, okay, what's this look like? D&D 5e is coming down to a close. We're probably not going to do a lot of, well, some might do more 5th edition because now they're not going to be competing directly with Wizards necessarily because Wizards is going to phase it out and go to 1D&D, right? It's kind of like me not supporting I'm not going to create a product that benefits my competition. But since my competition's no longer creating that product, now I will. And hey, great. Like, fantastic. And so looking at all that, I imagine the OGL has put a shot in their arm. Like they've gone from, well, we look at it, we project this amount of sales and this Kickstarter will do well. And they could probably, figure out what they're looking at by the end of the year, based on everything they've done in the past. And now it's like, whoa, holy cow. It will be interesting to see how that trickles. So, okay, Savage World sells out, Pathfinder 2 sells out. Now, from there, what else comes from that? So do a lot of people invest in a lot of the other Savage World stuff? They have to, right? Maybe it's a funnel, right? The big sale at the top that starts trickling down as the funnel gets a little more narrow, and players, right, may not need all those supplements, but the GMs do, right? So you get that funnel. All the GMs spend all the money. Players don't spend anything. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. So when Joe says, "Man, I just want to move on," we are far from that. I think. Again, 1D&D they haven't mentioned what that license looks like. People are going to want to burn them down again. People are still burned by Wizards. Some people have vowed never to go back. The trust is broken. Like, for all the goodwill that Wizards has put out, like, dude, putting out the SRD out of Creative Commons? What? That's insane. Talk about like 180 and not even that. They're just not even going to touch the OGL 1.0. Like, we're not going to touch it. Everything's fine. Hey, everybody calm down, which is what they should have done to begin with. They should have just said, hey, that's what they did with 4th. They came out with the game system license, GSL. And Paizo was like, screw that, because they waited too long and we didn't know what to do. And so 4th edition was what it was. And the OGL still stood. It's just I don't know. And there's people, I'm sure, in the chat that share the same type of head scratching. Like, why did they do what they did? Like, why? And I'm telling you, I think it had to come down to, okay, let me get this straight. What's this OGL thing? Well, it's a license that gives our competition or third parties the ability to use our kind of system and thing. And they could do whatever they want and they could sell it. And, as a matter of fact, there's this one company, Paizo, when we were screwing around with 4th edition and coming up with this game system license to do exactly what we're going to do with 1D&D, they just kept the OGL. We didn't restrict it or revoke it or anything. So they just used that to create an entire game. And basically, after we yanked the Dungeon and Dragon licenses from them and their rights, all they could do is adventure pass for 3.5. And we were going to go on to 4th and they didn't know what to do. So they just used our license to create their flagship product to keep them afloat and create more content. And, they hired a bunch of people and they're right down the street from us doing really, fairly well. What? Huh? No, get out of here. You got to be kidding me, right? Oh, and yeah, like mentioned on the Discord. Oh, yeah, and get this. It's really great. I mean, some people have seen some really great success because we've helped them out, like this guy, his name's Matt. He's got this YouTube channel. He's really intense, talks like this, and he's super awesome. And he like created a couple of supplements, like even like a bestiary that was probably a little bit better than ours, and it had like $1 million or $2 million in funding, and it was really crazy. And now he quit his day job and created his own studio, and he put out this magazine called Arcadia, and it's all under the OGL. Yeah, it's been fantastic, and he's hired staff and become his own company, all because of this OGL that we put out. It's super awesome. But it's like he wins, we win. People are still playing 5th edition. It's never been bigger. Great. It's so awesome. And execs' minds and heads are exploding all over the place. And so they were gonna no. They even said it in the original release. Hey, we didn't set it up so that our competition could rise above us. And they did. So yeah, that's not going to happen anymore. And we're going to yank that free ride. They just didn't predict the community outpouring that would come and yank their D&D Beyond subscriptions and the press that they would get. And, their stock has tanked. Their Magic the Gathering has been a debacle in the past. And I could just imagine. I want to be a fly on the wall in that company for the last 3 months. What is going on in this place? There is somebody making $50K there just going. They're like April Ludgate from frickin' Parks and Rec. Just what? Oh, great idea. Okay. Just not going to be good. But all is not for naught. I mean, there has been, we got to say there's been calls for firings, of course, even in light of the OGL being hey, look, we got your feedback. You are the loudest 5,000 people we know in this world. So we're going to cave to you and it's okay. Please don't hurt us. Please don't boycott our movie, which is coming up, by the way. And another thing that they need to consider. And it was probably 10,000. I don't even remember the survey results, how many people participated in that. And I'm sure it's everybody that plays D&D 5th edition or even publishes for it. And despite all that, they're doing layoffs, reducing their workforce by 8%, something along those lines. And people are like, hey, man, if you're doing that, you might as well throw in this person and this person too. Yeah. And it's it's just not, there's not enough blood. There's not enough blood. Sorry. There can never be enough blood for some people. So, let's please get more pitchforks and torches, because it's never enough. It's never enough. But the president and COO of Hasbro is on his way out, apparently. So I don't know if that's any reprieve. I don't think so. For some people, it's not. It's not going to be enough. They're going to be like, what? No, just one? Come on. One exec? There's got to be at least 10 or 20 there. That's got to go. Dude. Oh man, it is. And then there are some hallelujah. Oh my God. Praise be. Everything's great. Oh my God. I'm literally crying right now. It's just so fantastic. I mean, I don't even know what I was going to do next week if this didn't get resolved. Hell, thank you. I troll because I love. I don't know. I mean, man, it's. Anyways. Going to be a short stream, nothing to talk about. What's up, Orcus Dorcas? Paizo was humble bundling brand new PDFs months after release. A bad look for 2E. Yeah. Matty Cube, absolutely. They made bank on the WotC miscalculation. Blessing for the industry. Wake up call for many, at least license IP wise. There, me, Team Joe. And I betcha, going out on a limb here, people probably are a little better versed in, I don't know, licensing and what it contains and copyright. And, none of us are lawyers, but I know I sure as hell, learned quite a bit. I didn't go to a law class this past month, but I'll tell you what I thought all that had to do with was definitely not the case. And here's something I'm going to try. I think I've said this before. I'm going to try it. I was wrong. I was wrong. And now, because YouTube is going to record this, and you guys could probably snip it. I mean, dude, it's out there. Now I can't uncover it. I can't undo my admission of wrongness. So I guess I have nothing to do. I don't have anywhere to go from here. But I was wrong. I didn't know what I was talking about. And sometimes I still don't. But it's so I think we can all agree that some people's eyes have certainly been, opened to what is outlined in the license agreement. And hopefully they understand whether they truly need to abide by that thing or not. I was reading 2D20s from Modiphius's, and it was interesting, but I still we have a fellow Discord member who is, tinkering around with 2D20 mechanics and, trying to come up with using some of the benefits of this game system and doing his own thing. And, there's a question on whether you abide by the 2D20 Modiphius license. I don't even know what it's actually called, or not. And I was reading it, and it was like Modiphius was like the 50-50 split. They do something similar to how Wizards does it. Hey, you could put it in drive-through, and you get 50%. We take 20. Drive-through takes 30%. I still think that's a lot. Even the Apple Store is been known in the development community to be like highway robbery, and I think they only take 30. Done. Period. End of discussion. Understandably, there's three parties in this whole fiasco with RPGs, but anyways, and it was, hey, you have access to our email list. We're going to promote it. That's interesting because I get emails all the time, and I don't know if I see a lot of community-based stuff come through there. But I'm sure they do. So is that worth it? They do provide some assets that person could take advantage of. So like art and things of that nature, which is right. I think when you sign on to a license to do anything, you got to think what's in it for me? And especially in role-playing games, if it's just the mechanics, I don't know if you need it. You get to put 2D20 on your book. I mean, if you wanted to look like it falls in line with the Modiphius line of products, kind of like product identity component. Okay. I don't know if you could even if you put 2D20, don't use the same logo, or it uses two 20-sided dice and you call that 220-siders, the 220-sider system. I don't know if consumers are, I don't know, maybe some of us, but I don't know if we're all idiots to know oh, and you can always say it works with this. You can use it with, and you're not going to get in trouble. Hey, you can use it with 5th edition. You don't need a license to tell you, yeah, you can state that. Anyways, what is going on? Oh, it's too funny. Laramie says he likes the boycott. Great. I'm interested to see how their game systems will work with 5e. Cobalt Black Flag, for instance, is going to be backwards compatible, right? Have no idea. Joe says, but this is the first step. Yes, there will be more, but people need to unclench. Let's get back to creativity. Fair enough, Joe. I know what you're getting at, buddy. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. It's just text. Text in the chat. Jason says, but WotC deserves credit for the last 48 hours of damage control. Cooler heads have prevailed. The grassroots SRD satisfied the base, and now the digital licensing can fork into another track. For sure. And that's what's going to happen. Phil says, Yochigal showed bumps in Cairn sales every time WotC put their foot in it. I hope this helps folks to do well on Zine Quest. Orcus Dorcas, I could care less what they do with 6e. Put it behind its own OGL wall. I'm just glad people like Hyperborea, OSC, and Midderlands can breathe easier now. For sure. For sure. Victor says, one, we are leaving OGL 10A in place, as is untouched. The OGL is still not irrevocable. Expect future shenanigans. For sure. Yeah, that's why the OCR has to move forward. It just has to. The OGL, I mean, they could do whatever they want with that after that. As a matter of fact, people are like, great, redraft it, put it out as 101B, or whatever, 1.1 if they need to, and say it's irrevocable. But you still have the SRD under Creative Commons. So I don't know if you need the OGL. As a matter of fact, Victor, they even said, you pick. So just use the Creative Commons OGL. And please, can we stop talking about Mindflayer and Strahd being like open now? They just reference it. It's not like, because the name is in the creative, I don't know. I'm not a patent attorney. I'm not a copyright attorney. I'm not a lawyer. Okay. All right. Okay. I haven't played one on a RPG for a while. Hey. Okay. But I mean, come on. And it's like news. Oh my God, it's in the public domain now. No. They're not even statted. It's like, if you like, there's one, the deck of cards or something in there. It's a magic item. And it was talking about like, if you do this, it affects Beholder. Beholder, I can use Beholder. Like, sure. I'm sure Wizards would like totally let you do that. Totally. Yeah. Just go ahead. Use Beholder, Mind Flayer. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's like people living for loopholes. You know who they are? Power gamers. That's who they are. Yeah. Victor Wyatt says, those who use the OGL 1A still need to move over to using SRD 5.1 for Creative Commons, so they are on somewhat safer ground concerning content they use. Yeah. Yeah. Phil, same sentiment. He's referring to Orcs. Dorcas. Larry, what? Those people aren't lawyers. Couldn't tell from all the YouTube links. I know, right, buddy? I mean, I want to put one. I missed my opportunity to like probably get monetized on YouTube by not doing an OGL video, and I still may do it. I'm curious. I was gonna go back to the video that somebody posted in the Discord, and I gotta say, it was pretty clever. It was the guy who was just sitting there in silence, and then took all his 5e books and put them in the garbage. So I thought it was pretty good theater. We didn't see him taking it out. And frankly, now he probably is. Like, so I want to go back to that video and comment and go, hey, did you go back and pull those out of the garbage? It's not too late. Or, hey, did the garbage folks come and pick it up? It wasn't over. So I missed my opportunity. Great. Can't call me an opportunist, I guess. Call me a lot of things, but that's probably not one of them. Well, that's why you're a schmuck, Sean. That's why you didn't. That's why you're not Matt Colville, and that's why you're not Matt Colville. Getting your YouTube videos up to 600,000 subscribers. See, Orcus Dorcas, did you guys do an OGL? Come on, Titter Pigs. Did your videos? I know you do a lot, Scott, on the reviews piece, like opening games and going through games. But did you touch on any of the OGL stuff? Because if you did, you must be like, 10,000 subs, baby. It's so good. Talking about Hyperborea. Great. What's up, Michael Holland? Akadokan. Watcha. Rockadogan. Harrigan says, I bet the Modi license is like the 2D20 system. They threw components of every license ever into a stew, slapped it on the ass, and called it done. Oh, too funny. And you know the thing is Harrigan's going to get worse as he gets older. Oh, too funny, my man. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Matty Q, that is still my biggest question. Supposedly 1,500 plus game companies have joined the Paizo thing, and 90% have zero to do with 1.0 or D&D. Why the hell were they even using anything? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? That's what you do. You know, and like I said, the only guy who made any sense to me was Brett. Go figure. And he was like, it's, you know, if there's a threat of being sued and that kind of lowers the risk, well, you know, slap it in your book. But you don't have to. You don't, but it doesn't, you know, doesn't mean WotC can't. So, you know, even a $2,000 lawyer fee to like make it go away is still $2,000. A lot of these folks don't have. That's just, I don't know, Maddie, it's crazy. Yeah, it was, yeah, isn't like a reference for a deck or many things or something that's not a lease to use at will, for sure. He's Orcus Dorcas is talking about the Beholder thing. And even there was the other thing about mind flayers, like when used against aberrations, for example, mind flayers, like that's literally the reference. Like seriously, I thought that they had put it in there accidentally and statted it, because there is NPCs in, I mean, this thing's a 400-page document. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It is like 400 pages. 5th edition, like even NPCs. So there you go. Go out and OSE that shit. OSR, Osric it, you know. Although, I mean, it's out in the public. It would be nice to put it out on the web in case something changes with it, because then the archive machine, the Wayback Machine, can index it, and then you could see if it's changed from one day to the next. Hi, Augie. What are you doing? Hello. Climbing up my leg. Great. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm about to play this great power game this afternoon with my buddies. Something called D&D 5th edition. Ever heard of it? Phil. Are you going to play or run, Phil? Orcus Dorcas, please don't. This is already enough armchair attorney videos patting themselves on the back. My take on the OGL, I wouldn't do that. It would be more entertainment more than anything. Like, I've got ideas, but I don't know if I can pull them off. I need a cast. All right. And a lot of time. Okay, everybody, come over. We're going to do this. Ready? You do this, you do that. Go. Michael Holland. Yeah, I'm 100% sure Mr. Trask pulled those books out of the trash. That's who it was, Mr. Trask. I shared the video. That's right. He's covering other games now and announced his own RPG yesterday. Oh, that's good for what it's worth. Good theater. I thought it was pretty cool. It was definitely better than all the other, this guy's falling vitriol. Oh, let's go burn him down. This just happened. Oh, well, thank you, Laramie. I appreciate that. Victor White, did Matt Colville comment on your last episode? No. Are you kidding? Matt doesn't know we exist. Even though for a while he was doing the same topic 1 week after we would release it on Gaming and BS in some instances, which is strange because Brett would always like take inspiration from Matt. So I don't know. It's a crazy universe, let me tell you. Harrigan, yes, I am, Sean. Worse every day. Get off my lawn. Gran Torino, baby. Orcus Dorcas. Colville are some humble pie ate some humble pie right after before the OGL news dropped. He essentially resigned himself and his followers to accepting that WotC was going to get their way. Get their way. I didn't see it. Get their way with the new OGL. Like he threw his arms up. I'm a little confused. Phil, I'm down for more Grouchy Harrigan. Great. Michael Holland. WotC mentioned they will be posting the CC doc somewhere better this week. Oh, okay. Well, it's out there. Like you could download it. Granted, trust is still low. Taking bets on whether the doc disappears. Yeah, right. Oh, Orcus to Orcus. He said, he essentially told everyone to just give up. Interesting. Yeah. Just do your own thing, man. Playing 5e. Oh, you were playing. Got it. Have zero desire to run it for now, but my table group doesn't want to try anything else. It's a bloody tragedy. Yeah, you know how I feel about that, Phil. That's why you're in our Thursday group. Yeah, baby. Cold Shadows. Oh, I don't know about this. Michael, I saw a number of videos accounting to, we can't win. Time for us to move on. I don't think many of us saw yesterday's outcome. Yeah, that's for sure. Like nobody. I mean, can you imagine just since the, hey, we screwed up to, hey, this is what we're going to do. Somebody must have said, okay, here's the deal. Safety zone. This is a safe zone, right? Nobody's going to get help and, free comments, like free ideas, free feedback. Like nothing is going to be held against anybody for anything that's going to come out of this discussion. And they got into a conference room and they probably brought in people from all over within the D&D space in the company, everything from staff. I have to think. And they just said, okay, we need to figure this out. What does that look like? And people were like, well, here's some ideas and then the execs probably looked at it and said, okay, so we can't copyright rules. So why is that a big deal if we just keep it Creative Commons? Like, and so they probably just came to the conclusion, probably like Dr. O, and said, let's just do we can't do anything else. So why wouldn't we just do it Creative Commons, keep the OGL out there? But they really screwed it up, man. If they would have just did that out of the gate and said, hey, we're working on one D&D and we're going to have a different license and it doesn't touch OGL, I just do not understand any of that crap. Like, it was just ridiculous. Like, talking about, I don't know. I just, ooh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I'll give Matt a call and see if he can jump on. All right, Matty Q. Excuse me. I will look forward to that. Simmer room, yeah. Good luck, Phil, buddy. Put on the sales hat. Go away, Augie. Ow! Hey, I am not a climbing tree. Damn, cat. Anybody want a cat free to not even a good home? I don't, Matty Q, I was literally about to sell a shit ton of my old games to Noble Knight right before this whole mess started. I'm glad I didn't. Well, they're still around. You can still do that, Matty Q. Like, it's, Noble Knight will take them. Probably get more money for him now. One of our DMs grabbed the Ruins of Simroom core book, so if we play, it'll be the 5e version, it's a compromise, right, Phil? Right? Alt topic BSRCon 2 was just last weekend, though it now seems a year ago. Yeah, baby. Yes. So BSR2 Con, great success. We had about 90, just short, like 92 badges sold. I think 50-ish events. And I think 50. Now, I don't know if all those events kicked off. I'd have to double check. I don't know if that's minus the ones that were canceled or not. Like, I mean, how many cons are short players? Great variety, great people, no incidents. No, as far as I know, nobody's come to me and said, "Hey, I had this really awkward moment." You know, there are no harassment things or details. So there's either two things: one, they didn't happen, or two, nobody's bringing it to my attention. I'm hoping the former, obviously. I donated we donated $415 to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So I did cut them a check. I was going to donate on their website, and those guys wanted to charge me $25 for a fee to donate. Credit card fees cannot be that much. So I wrote a hand check. You guys know how to do that? Some of you ever write a hand check? Like, pay to the order of? I did that and sent it to New York. So I was hoping my employer would have matched. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like turn $400 into $800. But my employer does not. I should have probably did it to one of you guys. Let's cut you a check and then you cut a check with match. Anyways, thank you so much for everybody that participated and were on good behavior. Even you, Harrigan. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All of you. I got a lot of screenshots. I cleaned up the Discord a little bit from the con. BSR Con 3, already dates, save the dates, sent out an email. Now, I have to say, some people might not have received the email. My email list is a little convoluted, and I'm trying to clean that up a little bit because I have forum users from BS, Gaming in BS. I have patrons, and I have congoers, and not all three are across that board. Some of you are, and I can see the people that came directly from BSRCon. The others are probably what's happening is if you sign up for BSRCon and you're already in the mailing list, it doesn't duplicate you, but it may say that you are a source from Patreon or you're a source from the forums. So what I guess the short of it is I'm trying to just have a BSRCon email list only. So I don't know if I could do a double opt-in, which I may have to do and see if I could clean that up a little bit. Because I don't want to email people stuff about BSRCon if they're just not going, right? Or interested. But anyways, BSRCon 3 is all set for next January 19th, 20th, 21st. Laramie, you didn't get me your dates, so I'm hoping that you have a year to ask for one day off. I mean, I think that's fair, right? Like I'm giving you, I might not have consulted you to see what your availability was in January, but I figure if I can get because you might say, well, I don't know what days to ask off for, Sean. So I just did that, and now I'm telling you so that you can go forth and get some free time. So as far as I'm concerned, if 30 people are interested in doing it, 10 people, and we just play a few games Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, moving forward, totally down for that. Like, I think there's enough people that want to play with some other BSers, and other BSers want to host different games. And we want to do it even during the year. It's just scheduling snafus. And January is going to stay. It may conflict with EverCon. I don't know, but I don't think I get a ton of people from EverCon that are like, oh no, what do I do? Do I go to BSRCon or do I go to EverCon? You know, the 2 to 3 people that are probably toying with that idea go to EverCon, and that's okay. And EverCon's for those of you not in the know, is here in Wisconsin in Wausau in Brett's backyard. So anyways, And I don't know if they have next year's dates. So I already booked mine. So we have the venue and everything's, reserved. So if they want to book it during the same time, I don't know what to tell them. Anyways, we use tabletop events, probably the same model, $10 a badge, and donate half the proceeds. Part of me would like to see it like completely explode. It would be nice to be like an exclusive online convention. Like if you want an online RPG con, BSR Con's the place to go. I don't know if that's doable. I would love to put in more work and get like guests of honor and have them run a game and then have them speak or something along those lines. The seminar track doesn't get any traction. It's unfortunate. I don't know if that would be an avenue to pursue. Maybe vendors. I don't know what that looks like. I know Goodman Games does the weird, they must pay a fee and then they can put a map and you walk around your little meeple guy. And then if you run into somebody, your camera pops on and theirs does, and you can actually see them. And then you could talk and your voice goes through it. Kind of cool. Not sure it's needed, but it might be something. We'll see. But I don't know. There's a couple tweaks I'm going to make. Like when you register, you'll have to put in your Discord handle. That way everybody can know who that is and tag them and reach out to them on Discord. Boom, done, finished. There was I don't know why the first year it wasn't that big a deal, but this year it was. And I know the first year I didn't ask for Discord handles that I recall. Maybe I did. No, I don't think I did. Maybe I did. But anyways, there was some like, who is this person? They're not on Discord and I want to reach out to them for my game. Well, we'll fix that. Anyways, so thank you so much for joining. It was fun. I ran Blade Runner. I thought it went okay. I thought because I had to tie up the ending kind of quickly. I played in Symbaroum, native Symbaroum, hosted by Harrigan. Great time. Love the setting. Want to explore more. And then I played in, what's the other game? Oh, Against the Dark Master by Kevin. Speaking of which, we'll get to him because he's doing a Kickstarter I think you guys should know about. So that was fun too. All good. I hope you guys all had a good time too. And then we had some social hour. Like a lot of people showed up, got some good pictures of big screens and 16 people on at any given time at one point. So where did I leave off? Here we go. That's right. Phil did not show up. Jason says, you may, however, include a statement in your work that it is compatible with 5th edition or 5e compatible. That's the most important SRD passage. 5e as a brand remains open for publishers. 5e as a filter on drive-thru is a mark on Free League book. That's huge. Yeah. Yeah. All my experience was great this year. Had a good time. Thank you, Michael. 7 games. All good, man. 7 games. That's crazy. 4 hours a game. 28 hours of gaming in Friday. Maybe, half a day. Maybe 12 there. And then say 12. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot. Good for you, dude. Laramie with BSRCon 2 in the rear view. If anyone's in the Iowa City area next weekend, CheapCon. So plug for CheapCon. Laramie is involved in that one. It's quaint, right? I say quaint as in it's not a 1,000-person convention, although I could be wrong. Go check it out. CheapCon. It's in the Iowa area. Yes, Iowa City, Iowa. Hey. Gonna get this guy some treats. 1 second. Get over here. Driving me crazy. Hello, my name is Augie, and I'm strung out on cat crack. I'm assuming I work that weekend. You guys don't get PTO? Come on, Laramie. A lot of Shadow Demon lore talk. Good times. Wayne Good Morgan. Discord handles will be really helpful. Consider it done, Victor. Consider it done. What would be Esser Khan's version of Gong of Doom? What is Gong of Doom? I need more info. This says I won't spoil, but check out Kevin's Kickstarter. He has a good game to show you. Going to have Kevin on the channel to talk about his game. It was revived. It has revived some praise in my circles. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's get to some spiel, right? Like we talked for an hour already and haven't even gotten to the spiel, the stuff. Where do I start? Oh, well, here, so this is Paizo on Twitter talking about how they sold out of their stuff. I didn't know open gaming sale. I didn't know if they was it a big sale? Did I miss out? I don't know. Do I have Pathfinder 2? I don't even know. Maybe I have a bundle. Maybe I don't. I don't know if I want any more fantasy bundles. But they inundated with many weeks worth of orders. This is how crazy it got, right? Like they brought in additional hands to help with shipping, working overtime to send your new products as quickly as possible. They've run through what was an 8-month supply of Pathfinder core rulebook in the last 2 weeks. Demand on our beginner boxes is surging too. Already ordered another print run of the hardcover core rulebook, which will arrive in mid-April. They got some pocket edition available. They also plug Demi-Plane, core rulebook on Fantasy Grounds, core rulebook on Roll20, Pathfinder beginner box. Yeah, so there you go. Good job, Paizo. Well, that's good. I might have missed an opportunity with buying some cheap Pathfinder stuff too, but whatever. That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Good. Let's see. Anybody not know about the OGL and what they're doing? Raise your hand. Anybody? Don't be a stranger. If you don't know what's going on, let me know. We'll go over it. Oish. Let's see. What else do I... Oh, here is something. I don't know about this. I'm perplexed at this. I'm going to... so I saw this. Geek Native put it out. Fat Goblin Games releases a TTRPG content rating system. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Gen Xers, but didn't we hate this crap when we were growing up? White flag. Here in the UK, baby, movies can be rated you, come on. I'm sorry. Hold on, time out. Look at this. That's from my waist shot. If you're rating things like movies, I'm sorry, there's only one place that movies come out of. It's called Hollywood, and it's rated R, PG-13, PG, and G. So I don't know what you guys do in the UK, but really I don't know why you're making these weird ratings up. Okay, so back to your regularly scheduled program. Thank you. All right, so anyways, just wanted to get that out. Apparently in the UK, they have a rating U, suitable for all, and PG, which means parents should watch first. Okay, so they're good with that. Decide whether content is appropriate for their kids and watch them. We do have the video game thing too. We should probably, if the UK wants to copy something from us, which they probably should if they're doing video games, probably want to look into that as well. But I don't know how I feel about this. Hey, content warning, Tipper Gore. What do we? Why? I guess. Do we want to do this? It is kind of suggestive, right? But if I was 12, 18, age limit be damned. So the age tiers are 12, 15, and 18. That's what they're going to put into place. So there's also 12A, which is the same as 12, but only applies to cinemas. And then there's an R18 rating, which is strictly adult, and in especially licensed premises only. Which is that's the porn. That's what the prawn is. Similarly, systems have been applied to computer games, but what about tabletop role-playing games? So, Fat Goblin Games released a free-to-download tabletop role-playing game content rating system. Has several images for the proposed ratings and a 2-page explainer. It suggests games could be rated on violence, language, and sexual content, drug and alcohol use, horror, and mature themes. There's example language to share, content warnings, but no suggested tiers. So family-friendly or double F, 2F, teen gaming, and adult gaming. What do you think? What do you think? Preach D. Snyder. We're not going to take it. I don't know. I mean, I get it. And I'm also not a parent. So I would have my kid, sticking their fingers in electrical sockets. I wouldn't probably childproof. And actually, I'm probably the one that would. My wife wouldn't. So I don't know. I get it. And so there. Yeah. What else? I don't know about this. This was an awards thing that people were kind of doing, I think. Like, this is I Heart Fargo. On Twitter, and I think they were just doing kind of like, I don't know if they have a write-in or what the deal is. I can't remember, but so 5 to 6 weeks late, whoops, it's the awards winners announcement. So there are no categories. Everyone is just winner, one among equals. The recipients were chosen by the 8 anonymous judges who volunteered for the post. I did not have a vote. I merely coordinated the effort. They made this happen. I just had the idea. The post the process document for all who are interested on how they did it. There's a pass-fail voting, numerical voting, and then discussion and final voting. So what are some of the winners? And I put this out there because I think it's interesting. These things like awards, whatever, Ennies, this Origins Awards. Sometimes hey, I've never heard of that game. Sounds awesome. There's other people that think it's also awesome. If it's anything, it's a spotlight on a game. And some people will say the Ennies don't matter. I beg to differ. Like them, love them or not, popularity contest or not, there's still some games that come through there that I think is worth a gander. And many of the big players like Paizo and Wizards don't even compete in that, which is, I think, okay, great. So Dot Dungeon, have you guys heard of Dot Dungeon? I did not know about Dot Dungeon. I don't think I've heard of this. Dot Dungeon is a tabletop role-playing game with mechanics inspired by social games like Werewolf and Munchkin, where the real world and you as a person affect the game. The world of Dot Dungeon is inspired by MMOs, both fictional, like Dot Hack /Sign and real, Guild Wars 2, and set in a mysterious game engine that is growing and feeding on itself, ever changing. It was released in 2020. Dot Dungeon was. Dot Dungeon. Let's see what else they have. Oh, and let me just, can I comment on Joe? I think it's Joe or I Heart Fargo's, like his Twitter handle here. I did something similar in my Twitter handle a few years ago until a blind gentleman that follows me is like, hey, you're using some weird characters in your handle. Could you not do that? So if you've got weird characters in your Twitter handle, it screws with frickin' screen readers. Just saying. Everybody has a blind spot. All right, moving on. Ark Doom tabletop RPG. Think we know about Ark? That's come up. Anybody got that? Did they play it? Let me know. All Options by John Cole. It's on itch. 1990s abortion LARP. Ooh, okay. Not for me. But they do pledge to donate all proceeds from this LARP to our local reproductive justice advocacy group, Unrestrict Minnesota. It's a LARP. Is drama. Tone a little more dramatic than real life with a bittersweet ending. It's not about people deciding whether to have an abortion. Each character struggles with an element of their sexuality or gender, which makes it hard to reach out to their colleagues for support. Not my cup of tea. I will just say that. If you're interested, take a look at that. There's that dungeon. The Book of Gaub. The Book of Gaub? See, like, I don't know if these guys exist. Lost Pages. The Book of Gaub is an anthology of creepy magic and microfiction fit for all game systems. And tailored to retro old school D&D in the style of wonder and wickedness. Written by 7 authors, their concerted effort fleshes out the 7 fingers of the hand Gaub. Gaub? The G-man, or woman, or person, or thing, manifests through the filigrees of cobwebs and nails, false memories and nightmares you want to forget. Takes inspiration from the floorboard and cobweb. Horror. Touchstones of this are the Babadook, scary stories to tell in the dark, Stephen King's works like Misery and The Shining, and so on. Interesting. There's that one. Crapland Squared. That could be anywhere. What? I'm trying to find out more about what this is. What is it about? Tila got a new body like one of those super flex beach bods, like muscles and abs and stuff. The stuff dreams are made of, you know, robot dreams and stuff. Anyways, Tila took this body off, and now it's running around just stunting on everyone and flexing its thick thighs and whatever you need to bring it back. Okay, good stuff. Been checked. Okay. It's not Exalted Funeral Offerings, obviously, but I guess they could be. The Devil's City and its 77 Vicious Princes. Some interest. This is a role-playing game of high ambition and court intrigue. Each player controls multiple characters at once to portray a house of Zarkani, a vicious prince and their blood-oathed knights in a golden city at the very mouth of hell. All right. Interesting. There you go. The game is currently in beta. Its latest text can be downloaded here. I don't think it costs anything. Here are character and conspiracy sheets, as well as a toolkit to help you prepare, run, and play the game. Got a Discord, so check that one out. Duckburg. We featured Duckburg on Gaming NBS. Good to see it get some love. Anybody get Duckburg? Why did we not have Duckburg at BSRCon? Why? Where were you guys? Seriously? Come on. I'm a little disappointed, actually. Spear Witch is worth keeping track of. They sell a number of things similar to Exalted Funeral. Oh, okay, good. Dirkberg, Meadow Quack. Dwelling, a solo game for ghosts. Here again, I think there's a duck RPG out there for you. I think there is. I think Duckburg might be it. Dwelling. Dwelling is a role-playing game and short story for one. Taking on the role of the embodied narrator, you will wander through your new strange home at night, conjuring specters and finding they summon parts of your past along with them. Read, write, and draw in this curated solitary experience of a sleepless night in a haunted house. All right. Cool. It's $15. US. Faith and Souls. Like, see, I would never know about any of these games. Faith and Souls, a dicey micro RPG about persecution and pirates. Faith and Souls is GMless micro RPG about religious refugees escaping persecution to a life of piracy. Each die becomes a crew member. Each decision carries a risk, and when somebody's lost, they go off into the drink. Specifically, a cup of water. That's cool. Yeah, you own a drink. Each soul becomes part of a future prophecy. Its die tumbling into the sea, warning and providing aid on your journey. Have your seer peer into the cup to predict the future, reading the dice held within. And when the water overflows, you decide how your journey ends. Interesting. Yes. Okay. See, over the edge, dice in a cup, like it's part, like you're a piracy, right? On the seas, something happens, you get thrown overboard. What? I don't know this. I'm speculating. It's a resource. What does it say? Each guy, each person, whatever. Each die becomes a crew member. Crew member, you lose, you put them in the cup of water. Eventually, the water overflows, like signifying maybe the ship sinks. I don't know. I don't know. That's cool. That I like. That goes back to kind of like, how does it feel? Like, what is the play or mechanics or, does that look like? How can I make Faith and Sales feel like, from an RPG space, that their water has to do with something? I don't know. Bravo. All I say is bravo. Is it a game I'd play? I'd try it, maybe. I'm just a trad guy. That's what sucks. It's just me. But I love it. I love the ingenuity. Here There Be Monsters. I've heard of this one. I haven't played it. I don't own it. The game is currently slightly more expensive only here at Itch because the U.S. government treats me as a foreign store and takes 30%. You're welcome. If you don't want to pay for the difference, okay, blah, blah, blah. No matter what they tell you, there's still weirdness and wonder everywhere. You just have to know where to look. At the edges and cracks of normal life, we exist, we persist, and we resist. The monsters, the magicians, the anomalies, the freaks, and the outcasts. Sounds like the guys I used to hang around with back in high school. We gather in the shadows, trying our best to live our lives in a world that, when it doesn't exactly fear or hate us, doesn't even believe in our existence. Alas, there are people out there who can't stand this. They work from behind the scenes to protect normality at all costs. This means getting rid of us by any means necessary. They are often successful, but not as much as they'd like. Even so, they are resourceful and they're good at what they do. And they fight back. That's cool. Here They Be Monsters. I've seen somebody want to play this or run it. In the Blue Light. It's a frostbitten dungeon crawl for Merkberg. In the Blue Light is a frozen dungeon crawl adventure by Chris Bissett. You can check out the plain text version of the adventure for free here. Or the print version. The days are fleeting out on the ice. The days are fleeting everywhere now, but out on the barrens of Kyrgyz. they are even further lessened. This time is thin here. It stretches, twists, freezes, shatters. Sounds like Wisconsin. Miseries grip the world, inevitable and unending. The doomsayers scream that they can't be stopped, and the end is nigh, that the seventh misery will come and the world will burn. Varu's word has never yet been wrong, and yet, maybe there is hope out there in the ice where time rolls like sludge, where the end is perhaps not quite so inevitable. Sold. Sold. That's cool, right? Not sure what the motorcycle in the awards thing is, but whatever. So yeah, that was cool. Odyssey Aquatica. You guys liking these games? Anybody have any of them? Anybody interested in them? Odyssey Aquatica, a Paragon playset. Odyssey Aquatica is a 60s oceanographic adventure playset for the Paragon system from the Aegon role-playing game. A copy of Aegon is required to play. For more on the Paragon system, visit Aegon. The year is 1960, and you are an oceanographic? That guy. Adventurer, a brave or foolhardy soul who goes to the most remote seas and the deepest ocean trenches to conduct groundbreaking research. Well, you're playing Jacques Cousteau, man. All right, guys, Jacques Cousteau. If you don't know who Jacques Cousteau is, please help those conduct groundbreaking research, help those in peril, document the wonders you discover, and bask in the glory. All right. I wonder if this person is a Jacques Cousteau fan. I have to think, right? Right? You kind of got to be, right? Right. Victor says, I love these indie press game type games. I almost backed Dragon Maiden just for the ducks. I don't know. I think Pugmire affected me in weird ways. Pugmire appeals to me. I haven't played, but it does, like, I could totally play a freaking golden retriever, man. Nothing wrong with trad. Yeah, baby. Oh, Harrigan got a game with ducks in it. It's called Dragonbane. Hey-o. I passed on Dragonbane because it's another fantasy RPG but the ducks might draw me in at some point. Look at that, Victor Duck Lover. Yeah. Duck empathizer, Victor Wyatt. Orcus Dorcas, no ducks. Are you quackers? That's just ruffles my feathers, but I'll let that go like water off my back. No. Victor, I think DB is going to be pretty great. I didn't get it. I need another fantasy game like a hole in the head, I'll tell you. Ducks aside, you are probably right here again. Manicu, obvious setback to this setting is that only one of you is Jacques Cousteau and the rest of the party are scrubs that help him put his tanks on and vag in the water. I stand with Duck Brothers. I can't. I'm kind of with Harrigan on ducks. The Duckpocalypse. Picket line, tango, not taco. Picket line, tango. The people of mining colony Norton Outpost are addicted to murder. Well, of course. Kith slaughter kin over petty conflicts and bad habits. A union strike raises tensions to a boiling point. The true killer stalks unseen among protest signs and workers on the edge of chaos in Picket Line Tango. It's a noir-inspired murder mystery adventure in space for the Mothership sci-fi horror RPG. It has everything you need for night after night of thrills, suspense, and economic horror, including 15 new NPCs, 12 rundown colony locations, the shocking truth, tools for running deteriorating strike conditions, jazzy art on every spread, and Euronymous, a pet bear in a gilded cage. All right. Look at that. $5. The Picket Line Tango. You guys were probably like, sounds dumb. What? Mothership? It's probably just me. I don't know. Mothership? Oh, okay. I should probably stop by. It's just like Jim Gaffigan and Cake. And if you don't know the reference, go watch Jim Gaffigan. All right, Slayers, look out! Almanac. Welcome to the city, cursed to spread forever towards the horizon, filled to the brim with monsters. This is the city, home of the Slayers. The Slayers Almanac is a setting supplement for Slayers RPG, filled with districts for you to travel through, maps to wander across, and rumors leading to your next big hunt. Inside, you'll find 10 new districts for the city, written by a wide cast of incredible writers and designers from the indie RPG scene. Whether this is your first time playing Slayers or you're a veteran monster hunter, the book is perfect for your next journey into the city. Into the city. Slayers. You got to get that one right. Folks. How many are there? I don't even, probably should have checked. Through Alton's Door, issue 3. Sold out, $24, print and PDF. Float down the sewer river of the Dreamlands with Through Alton's Door, double issue 3. The issue presents a point crawl along a sewer river of the Dreamlands and connects the dungeons from issues 1 and 2 with 7 new locations. It introduces an entire settlement, the sanitarium of the benefactors, and numerous factions including the sewer worm, Sophia, Prophetes of the Muddled Waters, her rival the Craname, Melancholy Feywitch, and the lured toads, ominously polite cannibalistic parasites, complete with a giant dreamy sewer encounter table and rules for playing your very own opium dreaming wizard. It is illustrated more lushly than ever, with over 30 gorgeous illustrations by Huargo, Orfix, Gus, Daria Kibanokova, Johan Tildo, Jeremy Duncan, and David Hoskins. There you go. Sounds interesting then. The Alton's Door series, fantastic, Orcus says. You should grab that if you can. Find it available somewhere. Yeah, I always wanted to see Alton's in print. Yeah, I got some fans. All right, good. Unusual Esoterica series. Unusual Esoterica series, written by Jennifer Unpleasant, with some illustrations by Dr. Rudd, others dead people. Is her last name really Unpleasant? No, come on. You find a box. Within that box are cards. Cards with cryptic names like a Duke under the power of the East and the Seventh King ruling the Southwest. They claim to be talismans granting spiritual powers, but at what costs? Compatible with any was a chaos hack, traveler, or powered by the Apocalypse system games. Great and mighty Empress of the North. Interesting. There you go. Vampire Cruise. Vampire Cruise. You heard stories the ship was dredged up from the sea floor and they had to clear out buckets of drowned fish before building staterooms. Stories about the captain who's never seen before midnight. About the unsettling shape of the boxes that were loaded into the darkness of the lower decks. The crowd waiting to embark doesn't seem worried, though, and before you know it, you're relaxing by the pool, ocean sparkling all around, and you're not worried either. Until breakfast, when you share a table with the woman who told you all the rumors. Now she's wearing a white silk robe and handing out pamphlets that say, "Is death real?" on the cover. And then you can't find your aunt, and you wake up woozy in your cabin clutching a note you don't remember writing that says, "Deck 13 at noon. Bring something sharp." On the other hand, there's a ping pong tournament, Vampire Cruise, a supposedly fun thing you'll have to do for eternity. It's a 40-page TTRPG adventure zine ready to play with any rules light or OSR style system. It includes maps, lots of vampires, a mummy cult, and room service. Cruising with Strahd. Word up. You know, hey, on a side tangent, you know how many shows my wife and I have watched on Netflix that are like in the first 10 minutes, you know, it's like a vampire themed Dracula movie when they name the characters right out of Bram Stoker's novel? Like, do you really think like I don't know who Mina and Lucy are? Like, what? Anyways, they're out there, folks. Just a tangent. But anyways, all right. Ooh la la la. Volume 2, Monsters by Luke Gearing. Luke Gearing dissolves the oldest monster manual to question how we present monsters and where they come from. The result leaves only bones and negative space. Bonito's presentation reinforces the themes and leaves space for the reader to further interrogate the contents. Does it really say, I guess, monsters? There you go, monsters. I've heard of Luke. Luke Gearing is awesome, Harrigan says. That's for this hex crawl. That's for this hex crawl game. It's in the work. Got it. Juggernaut. All right. Look at you guys. You guys are in the know, man. Wild Blue Yonder. Beyond the crumbled towers and dusty tombs of the known world lies an ancient land of rounded mountains and hazy woods, a land of fertile coves and forgotten hollers, of isolated communities and overgrown footpaths snaking their way through the back of beyond. The yonder mountains call out to your bones, Flatfoot and yonder folk alike, setting you on a path of aimless wandering, woodcraft, whistling, and wishing. But watch what you say in the deep, dark yonders. Someone might just be listening. 30-something page RPG zine presenting a homegrown region that can easily be adopted or dropped in any campaign world. Hooks, NPCs, scenarios, factions, tables abound in this handy little travel guide. Designed for use with OSE. Mucker's Plum, the depths for which powers the ancient machines of the old ones, while Buckers have brave the wooded hollers for rare and preternatural timber. Devils populate the wilds of the yonders, offering up wants and have-nots in exchange for everlasting souls. Check it out there, kids. Gradient Descent, that's how I know him. I got Gradient Descent. I haven't read it yet. But thank you for the reminder. Old Gods of Appalachia podcast is freaking amazeballs. Is it? Appalachia. Weird science. Do. Bits and pieces. Weird science. Do. It's my creation. Is it real? It's my creation. Ooh. Fantasy adventure game expert magazine. Weird Science returns with an even bigger and better second issue. 112 pages of interviews, news, features, and reviews covering everything from the history of D&D BX through to the best tabletop games of today. In this issue, you'll find Quick Start. Get up to speed with what's happening with interviews, with the features on What Would the Smart Party Do, Coyote and Crow, John Peterson on his new book, The Elusive Shift, the latest gaming design trends, game-inspired art, and much more. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's neat. That's kind of neat. Neat. Apple ate ya. Apple ate me. Apple ate me mountains. As a semifinal note, the judges wrote essays about several of the winners. The most resonated with them. You can download that here. Please do. They're very good. Sorry about it being a Discord link, but it should work. And should you desire, you can put this image on your product or page to indicate that you're the winner of a big time fancy award. It was made by the lovely Nate Dream. I don't get that thing, but okay. I guess it beats like putting polyhedrons in it, right? One quick correction. I messed up and left Callie Laurie off the tweet for Duckburg. So that's the awards. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Ooh, weird science. Now I got that song in my head. Thank you, the awards. In my heart, in my hand, I cannot understand my intentions. Ooh. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. All right, like, so where do we go from here? Like, let's see. Okay, let's do, oh, I know. There we go. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. Well, before I forget, why don't we do this? Let's get this guy some frickin' love. All right, if you haven't checked it out, here's Burn 2d6 by Kevin. He ran the Against the Dark Master game for us at BSRCon. Good member of the community. I hope he doesn't use this video for his Kickstarter. Kevin, if you're listening to this, don't use this video for your Kickstarter. Okay. I only say that because I think you need to, like, you know, say, hey, this is what the Kickstarter, maybe it's going to be like, hey, this is what the Kickstarter is going to be, but I don't know. I think it's a good video for the Burn 2d6, whatever, but it's like some of those Kickstarters are like, the Kickstarter's purpose is to do this. Like, everything is fully baked. I just need to do printing costs, things of that nature. So just saying. He's backed some. He's backed 23. That's always important. People, get bent out of shape if nobody's backed anything and then they have their own. So there you go. Check it out. Sign up for the notification of Kevin's stuff. Let's see what else. And he's offered to run it on our Discord channel. So if you're not a member of our Discord, head over to probably gamingnbs.com/Discord, or you can go discord.gg/BSlandia. We'll get you there. Also, I'll say, since we're this far into the video, give me a like, one of these, or one of these. Subscribe so you can get notified. Please. What should we do? Here was the EN world. Oh, the sellout pieces. And that was it. Chaosium also reports a similar surge, reporting that they will be running out of Call of Cthulhu starter set months ahead of schedule. They also have a new print run coming in. So they have a new shipment in early February. There's even a bigger Call of Cthulhu shipment coming in by sea in March. So there you go. That stuff. So that we talked about news. Let's see. You know what's not getting a lot of press? This. Keys from the Golden Vault. Talk about a product that has been swept, that has been overshadowed. This is the next Wizards release. That hasn't got a lot of highlight. D&D new trailer, open D&D. They got their feedback. Talk over that. Dune. Let's see. Modiphius announced the next expansion for Dune: Adventures in the Imperium. The source book, The Great Game, Houses of Lanzarad. Set for March 2023 release. Black Chrome, 170 plus new items to help you survive. Night City for Cyberpunk Red is on its way. It's an updated version with 160 pages of new gear, apps, cyberware, fashion and armor, general goods and gear, vehicles, weapons, and linear frames, plus information on how the economy of Night City functions. Encounter in a box. It's from WizKids. $30 each. Both sets are due for release in Q2. Hasbro. 1,000 employees will be laid off. Wow. That's crazy. Did you know? Well, that's Hasbro, right? We're not talking Wizards, but that'll be part of Wizards. The layoffs are due to a disappointing fourth quarter in 22 with sales down 26% in the consumer products division. Now, I don't want to beat this dead horse. Why not? But keep this in mind. Hold on. Okay, right? While the Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming division sales were up 22%. Hey, all right, everybody. Okay, keeping up with this here. Combined with a 12% decline in sales for the entertainment division, the overall sales for the company fell 17%. The layoffs are part of a Blueprint 2.0 initiative to focus the company on fewer, bigger brands, a larger focus on gaming and digital, and more direct-to-consumer sales. Hasbro President and Chief Operating Officer Eric Nyman will also be leaving the company after 18 years, leaving the consumer products division, reporting directly to CEO Chris Cox. The 1,000 employee layoffs represent about 15% of the company's total workforce. 15%? Whoa. So, okay, all right. So, things to note. Consumer and products division down 26%. 12% decline in sales for the entertainment division. Overall company fell 17%. Wizards and digital gaming up 22%. Now let's reflect back a few months. Okay? All right? Let's just think about a few months ago. We might remember a company or a entity named AltaFox Capital. AltaFox Capital. If you recall, before WotC began rolling out its monetization plans for D&D, Hasbro was under fire for not doing enough. AltaFox Capital, Capital's blueprint has turned out to be present. Who's AltaFox? Remember, these guys were an investment firm that owns 2.5% of Hasbro stock, and they wanted to spin Wizards off into their own company. They specialize in hedge funds that buy a significant minority stake in publicly traded companies to change how it's run. Unlike traditional takeovers from private equity firms, activist investors use the media and proxy contests to force change within a company. As you can imagine, activist investors are often a company's worst nightmare. For a long time, Hasbro's financial performance flew under the radar of investor scrutiny. That all changed when AltaFox took an interest in Hasbro and specifically in Wizards of the Coast. They launched their plan with a website, Free the Wizards, which has since been archived. In retrospect, it's clear that AltaFox's activism had an outsized influence on Wizards of the Coast we know today. Case to repair Hasbro. AltaFox argued that Hasbro's board of directors needed a shakeup. Now, looking back, look at that. Oh, don't get me started, Victor. Everywhere I go, Free League shows up. Seriously, give me a website with AdSense. It'll be Free League, guaranteed. So don't think it's on EN World. It's to Sean. They know I'm a Free League fan. They just want me to buy more of their stuff. It's targeted. It's targeted. But anyways, going back to AltaFox Squirrel, I mean, they pointed out none of the board members had purchased shares of Hasbro over the last decade and received generous... Like, I don't know if I knew all this. AltaFox pointed out that none of the board members had purchased shares of Hasbro over the last decade. Huh? And received generous payouts. Oh, that's cool. Paid an average of $350K annually, higher than Apple, despite underperforming. According to AltaFox, Hasbro's brand blueprint strategy was failing because it lacked financial discipline. These guys, I think they still probably own their 2.5%. They might have a case, man. Because it was failing because it lacked financial discipline, an inability to sell successful brand video games, poor cost control compared to Mattel, and an underinvestment in its crown jewel intellectual properties like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. Like, these guys were like, hey, man, you guys are all messed up. I can't imagine the last month or two. These guys must be just like, what? Come on. They recommended 4 nominees to the board, and then and a former professional Magic player and a market exec, principal at Incline Studios. The dream team, AltaFox argued, would shake things up. Moreover, AltaFox wanted Wizards of the Coast to be spun off. According to AltaFox, Hasbro's brand blueprint strategy was a cash cow in which WotC gave money to its parent company with little in return. They speculated that D&D and Magic the Gathering made up 90% of WotC's 2021 sales. Quoted Cox as saying that there was an 8 times to 10 times audience potential in bringing tabletop brands to the digital side of the business. Of the 5 reinvestment opportunities, Fox's 5th recommendation was a one-stop shop digital subscription and pay-as-you-go offering for a true to physical D&D experience, similar to how Arena is a true to physical Magic the Gathering experience. It all came to a head with an election contest by shareholders on AltaFox's recommendations. They've lost the vote, and that should have been the end of it. But the efforts to revitalize Hasbro and WotC in particular would be tremendously influential on the way the company is operating today. Although Hasbro rejected AltaFox's proposals, its next actions were aligned with their suggestions. Hasbro brought on 2 new board members. Both were executives with experience in gaming, technology ops, and capital allocation. One was the COO at Discord. I did not know that. And worked on Xbox products. Shocker. While Jorgensen previously served as CFO for EA. Whoa. Stuff like this starts like painting an interesting picture. That wasn't the only change. Directors were asked to purchase shares on the open market, just as AltaFox had recommended. More to the point, the brand blueprint strategy that AltaFox loathed got a revamp as Brand Blueprint 2.0. That was a 4-quadrant strategy in which Hasbro focused on a core group of 8 to 10 brands, including D&D. The goal was to create 250 to 300 million savings annually over the next 3 years. Cox and Williams lay it all out. In a USB fireside chat, this was where they got heat for saying that D&D was under monetized, which is stated here. We're now seeing that strategy in action. Although AltaFox didn't get its board members listed, it seems it still got its way. Did it though? Like, are they? I don't know. In light of the OGL this month, that AltaFox article is very interesting. The whole thing's interesting, see? Because what what was proposed before to us was like, it's executive bullshit. It's like, okay, so there's a 2.5% shareholder. First of all, I don't even know if I knew what AltaFox literally did. And this talking about like, oh, they are a hedge fund place that goes in and changes things to force companies to change. Like, that is interesting. Like, that is their and they're activist investors, often a company's worst nightmare. Oh, okay. And now, they wanted to put in their old board members. They wanted WotC to be spun off. And like, now you look at the Hasbro stock and the fiascos with D&D and Magic in the last 6 months. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Anyways, just thought I'd point that out because when I came across that on EN World, thanks EN World, go visit enworld.org. I thought, let's revisit that now that we know what AltaFox is like. I don't know if it would have been a bad, like some of us would have been, I don't know, might be a bad thing. They're just trying to, who are these outsiders? I got a feeling that if they're a specialized hedge fund and they got some money and they buy, these, that's a lot of stock. They gotta kind of know something. They know more than Sean does. That's not saying a lot, though. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, what do we want to do? Print news, crowdfunding. It's like right 15 minutes to the 2-hour mark. You guys have been here that long. Are you guys, hey, awake? Hey. You still awake? You guys still awake in there? Do print news. Crypt of the Devil Lich DCC, baby. And 5e by Goodman Games. Four to sixth, 7th level DCC PCs or 15th level D&D PCs. Well, that tells me that DCC PCs are more powerful. Hot take. Change my mind. It's in the tradition of Tomb of Horrors and Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Dozens of player handouts. Sent to the Devil Lich's crypt to destroy her before she can return to power. What could go wrong? You about to launch out of there? All right, dude. Over the Troll Bridge. Character sheet, terror pad, creature curation, softcover rulebook with tokens, terror pads for OSR system. PCs are trolls in a group called a troop. The troop of trolls go on quests in unknown lands and works together to bring back as much loot as possible. Scarred Lands, Dead Man's Rust, Bionic's Path, D&D 5th edition. Taking the PCs from level 1 to 10. If you're a Scarred Lands fan, gotta get on that. Curse of the Bloodstone Isle by Lost Lorn Games, 5th edition. Hardcover books, poster map, GM screen, $100. Ooh. Within a raging tempest of teeth-rattling thunder and a terrible winds, a small island is lost and hidden. Founded by pirates, it was once wealthy enriched by blood ruby mines. It is now a war-torn hellscape since the 3 captains turned on each other, ripping the island's society apart. 3 books, Paul Ayers Gazetteer, Game Master Cyclopedia and the Covenant. Her arg. Eye of Shantufi. The Heart of Shantufi. D&D 5e. Softcover adventures. These are Luke Gygex's Okorim setting. Planar Bestiary. This is by Monty Cook Games. Is now in print. D&D 5th edition. 5th edition, man. No stopping that train. Tell him Eileen sent you. Dice set Yogg Sothoth. Green with Aegis White. There you go. That's that. That's that. Let's see. What crowdfunding is the only thing we really haven't touched on. And I think that's kind of it. And I'll get you on to your regularly scheduled weekend. What is there? Cloud Empress, ecological science fantasy role-playing game, role-playing from Worlds of Watt, Mothership, 58 bones for shipping and handling of the PDF and print versions of the books, 5 pamphlets, 2 postcards, a map, and a patch. Is it funded? Combining Mothership rules with ecological science fantasy. You'll play as heroes trying to make the best of a failed far future dominated by small warring clans and giant deadly bugs. It's funded. Yeah, 2,500, 54,000. Boom. Elfland, Beyond the Fields We Know. DCC RPG Adventure, $15. 48-page RPG zine gives you 2 DCC adventures set in Elfland. Boom, funded. All right, did I put this in there? I should probably put this in there. No. Thank you, Ian World, for compiling this information for us. Curse of Camelot, simple RPG by EC Games. Original system core rulebook, $13 for the PDF, the digital maps, and VTT files. It's a D6-based OSR, presents Arthurian legends with a twist. What if the Knights of the Round Table were evil? Hey-oh. Imagine Camelot as the seat of darkness and the Knights of the dangerous gang that raids out from it. You have to defeat them and the other monsters of the realm. By making Arthur the villain, there's an opportunity to make something new and unexpected out of this world. Funded. Make 100 spell compendiums for 5E. Well, yeah, funded. Two spell books. One has cantrips as well as first and second level spells from 5E. The other provides third, fourth, fifth level spells. At 100 spells per book, these are original spells to add to your character's options. Boom! Funded! That is something I can't read. Yun Sun, The Purple Land, 2nd edition. Original system core rulebook. The edition of Yun Sun, The Purple Land, dropped in 2014. 9 years later, it's time to revise the project, refresh the options and art. Funded. Dungeon Caster. Story-driven fantasy tabletop RPG rule set from Gallant Knight Games. Caster system, high caster role-playing game. Core rulebook, $25. Dungeon Caster advertises itself as an open-source rule set, setting agnostic fantasy rulebook, gives you the tools to address combat, magic, and travel. You'll just need to add the setting. Coming in at 120 pages, has heritage with and past like an OSR or Pathfinder, elves, clerics, and rogues. If you're interested in a new fantasy rule set, mimics D&D, including dice. Funded. I'm guessing Alta Vista is really unhappy. Alta Fox, Wayne. Alta Fox. Handling of the OGL over the past weeks. Yeah, for sure. Luna Publishing presents Penny Dreadful's Savage Shapeshifters. Funded. D&D 5th edition. 5 lycanthrope-based adventures for 5E. Booyah, Grandpa. Merkburg, compatible. 40 Fiends, Bestiary, compatible with Merkburg. Yellow, check. Black, inky, weird art, check. Metal, check. From Crowheart Roleplay Resources, RPG Zine. Need 40 creatures for your Merkburg adventures? This campaign offers an RPG zine with monsters and random charts, all fitting for the Merkburg universe. It's a pretty straightforward project. You get a collection of adversaries in one book. Booyah! 9,000% funded. Level Up. That's the in-world stuff. Gate Pass. You know what? For a second, I thought that said Gas Pass. Level Up Gate Pass. Source book, 40 pounds. Shipping, 5 pounds shipping and handling. The book pulls together 220 pages of archetypes, artificer, subclass, backgrounds, feats, monster, spells. 2022's Gate Pass Gazette. Boom! Funded. That's it. That's it. Boom! 2 hours. And you guys, I love how like the chat starts on fire and then it's like, I'm just going to go into mellow mode. Some of you guys might have did the Irish dip, but I appreciate you anyways. I do. Thank you so much for tuning in this fine day. I really appreciate it. I want to thank all these folks right here for supporting me through Patreon. Really appreciate it. What else? What else am I going to sum up? I'm starting Cold Shadows. I'm a little nervous because I don't know if it's as good a game as I thought it might be. Yikes. Hashtag don't read reviews. But we'll see. The guys are willing to try it. Thanks, Wayne, Harrigan, Phil, Kev, wherever you are. We'll see how it goes. And then we'll record it and we'll put it up for everybody to watch. Session 0 kicks off this Thursday. Not live, but catch it here on this channel sometime in the future. What else can I tell you? Run on Delta Green Impossible Landscapes continues. Still fun. Awesome. Exciting. Guys are in a lot of trouble now. All I got to say. Actual plays here, or you can get the audio version. Just do find a search for DG Unsanctioned, like Delta Green Unsanctioned, the audio podcast. The next Hex, Forbidden Lands, still being released. We did wrap up the campaign, but I think the last episode for that drops in March, so it's coming out every 2 weeks. It's here on this channel for actual play, if you want to listen to that, or watch it. And then, of course, the audio stream. And I want audio, so the next Hex podcast, if you find that and want to listen to us play Forbidden Lands, there you go. I want to thank Harrigan, Kevin, Phil, and Wayne for allowing me to do that. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. What else? I don't know what else to tell you. Is there any other announcements? There probably is, and then I'm going to come back and get mad. Dungeon 23 I'm still doing. I'm 2 days behind now. So now I got to do 2 more days to catch up. So that's an interesting project. I do the shorts here, so you should see those if you're interested. If you need some incentive, some of my rooms are kind of neat. Maybe some aren't, but nonetheless, they're like less than 50 seconds, 60 seconds on this channel that I put them out. So anyways, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your weekend, day, evening, week, whenever this finds you. If you're live, great. Thank you very much. Join our Discord if you are so inclined. Link down below. And I will leave you with Be a Positive Force in Tabletop RPG Hobby. See ya next week.